horn. Is your horn tingling? Let's rub horns. Horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up. We are Unicorn Podcast.
We are living through a period of massive uncertainty. The Trump administration, what is going on in the world right now, but I believe that things like precious metals, cryptocurrency, unicorn fart dust are going to come out way ahead as the world works its way through these issues. Look, we're going to talk about a number of big things going on today during this live stream. But first, I want to say thank you. Yes, you, for joining me here today. This is not possible without all of our participation. You are the most important part of Ron's Basement, of Unicorn Fart Dust, of the precious metals community. So thank you for being here. Please share this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Anything you can do, Susie and I are very, very grateful. Now, look, guys, there is a lot going on. If we focus in on crypto right now, if we focus in on Unicorn Fart Dust right now, we're like in this environment that is so challenging. Let's just be real about it. It's like we've all jumped into a river to go for a swim, and we're swimming against a massive current. But that can change, right? We are swimming against a current and we are holding our place, but we got to believe that two big things could occur. Number one, money will come back to the crypto sector. The liquidity has been drained lately from the crypto sector. We know that that will change. We know with all of this uncertainty out there that eventually the money will come back flowing, right? The flow of the river will turn in our favor and it'll be a much, much easier swim for us. We also know that there's no way around the fact that money printing is on the way. They will have to print money, and the dilution of the dollar is all but certain. So as investors in general markets, okay, everything except gold basically is going through a very challenging time right now, right? We have to realize, right, that Trump is going to turn the printing press on. He's going to make sure that it happens. How do we know that, right? The Fed will act. Right? Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve will act, but only when they are forced to. Listen to this. Listen to this, just to give you an idea of what is going on right now. We get this yesterday. Donald Trump says Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Okay? The president's comments about the central bank boss on Truth Social post and at an Oval Office press conference came one day after Powell said the central bank will, quote, wait for greater clarity before considering any rate adjustments, as he warned on Trump's tariffs would likely generate, quote, higher inflation and slower growth. Look, things are in a big state of disarray in Washington. Jerome Powell, we're going to get him out. We're going to show him here in a second. We're going to get him out of his box, is in a very difficult situation. Let's look at this actual social post from Donald Trump. He said the ECB, that's the European Central Bank, they control the euro currency, is expected to cut interest rates for the seventh time. And yet he refers to Jerome Powell as, quote unquote, too late Jerome Powell of the Fed, who is always too late and wrong, yesterday issued a report which was another and typical complete mess. Oil prices are down, groceries, even eggs are down, and the USA is getting rich on tariffs. Too late. He refers to Jerome Powell as being too late. Too late should have lowered interest rates like the ECB long ago, but he should certainly lower them now. Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Guys, this is very important for us to realize how unprecedented this type of behavior is. The Federal Reserve, let me get Jerome out. He wants to say hello. Right? Jerome Powell, there he is. And the Federal Reserve is independent from the president. It was set up that way so that the Fed could do what they thought was best in a non-politicized manner. The fact that we have a president publicly attacking a Federal Reserve chairman is really unprecedented in the history of the United States. They say that during the Reagan administration, they called Volcker to the White House to chew him out, to say, hey, Volcker's the guy that put rates up at like 20%. But they actually did the meeting in the library at the White House because there was no recording equipment in there. So this is an unprecedented situation. We have the president of the United States, right, trying to dictate the policy, the monetary policy, right? That's called the monetary policy. What this guy does, our old friend Jerome, right? He prints, right? Remember, he prints the toilet paper money. That is being attempted to be controlled. The other big thing that happened this week with the Fed was, right, we have the recession and the inflation on the other side of the box. At a Chicago Economic Club speech given by Jerome Powell, he basically admitted that they're up a creek without a paddle. They're going to be facing high inflation while at the same time a slowdown in the economy. Guys, it is going to get crazy, and I'm telling you, the end result will be dilution of the U.S. dollar, a lowering of the value of the U.S. dollar, and that will be good for cryptocurrency. That will be good for precious metals. We're already seeing it. Gold is the smartest, oldest market in the world. I believe crypto will follow gold. I know silver will also follow gold. Gold's been around longer than anybody. Okay, it can see around the corner and it can see around the next corner also. And what it sees, right, is trouble for the U.S. dollar. And the big question that's being asked as well is like, would Trump be blasting Powell if these trade tariff negotiations were going so well, like they keep claiming as well? All right, let's go look at the dollar index, because this will be one of the critical factors for crypto as we move forward. And again, right, we're looking at this every day now. We are healthy below the 100 level. Remember, 100 was the critical level, the critical support level that we broke through. And just because we like to look at it every day, the 100 level, which it held, well, let's go back here. Let's look at this. Let's look at a 3-year chart of that. Okay, you can see, we'll get the crayons out. Don't you worry. Here we go. Right. Again, we cannot look at this often enough. 100 was this. That's about 99 where we are now. I drew the line a little bit too low. But anyway, over the last 3 years, we came down. We never broke below. However, if we look at this on a long-term basis, and I think we looked at this. This is just crazy to think. This is actually, for any crypto or precious metals investor, very exciting. Okay, there's a line at 100. Okay, there we are right now. We are below 100, which seems like, oh my gosh, the dollar's falling. But if we look back throughout history, 45 years, you can see the dollar has been down as low as 75 a couple times, even 2011. That's when gold and silver went on an unbelievable tear. Okay, silver went to $50 per ounce, which it still has not surpassed. And in today's dollars, that's like $80 an ounce. But remember something very critical. Back then, there was no crypto. I think now the crypto will follow the lead of gold, will follow silver, and go much, much, much higher as we move through these very just incredibly uncertain times that all of us are living through in the general markets. It's going to be interesting, guys. It is going to be absolutely interesting. And let's take a look at what Trump is pressuring. This is going to control everything. Let's take a look in terms of the interest rates and see how that's changed. We've been keeping a close eye on this. This is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange FedWatch tool, okay? It gives the probabilities of the rate cut moves from the Federal Reserve. So remember, Trump is putting big pressure on Jerome Powell to cut rates, but if we look here, the current target rate of 4.25, this is the May meeting. You can see up here, which is the next one coming up in about 20 days. There's a 90% chance that they're going to leave rates where they are. But again, like we looked at yesterday, let's go out to December, Christmas time, right? Holiday season. Okay, so again, just so you can see, that's the December probabilities. And this is based on big money, the big traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Let's look at these two numbers. That's the current rate, 4.25. This is telling us, if we look here, 3.5 or 3.25. It's saying there's a 1 in 3 chance that rates could be a full 1% lower. That is incredible. It's also saying there's about another 3% chance that rates could be 3/4. That would be 0.75% lower. So no matter how you slice it or dice it, the big money, right? The big smart investors that make massive bets on these changes. That's what goes on at the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They are foreseeing that we're going to have much, much lower rates as we head into the future. And why? Right? There's so much uncertainty with tariffs. There's so much uncertainty in the world geopolitically, with the weaponization of the U.S. dollar and the U.S. debt situation. That's why people are selling treasuries all around the world. And when people sell treasuries, there's what's called an inverse relationship between a bond price and the interest rate. When they sell the bonds, the price of the bonds go down, and that makes the interest rates go up even higher, which works even further against what President Trump is pressuring Powell. Guys, it is going to be mayhem. Okay, it's going to be crazy, and we're going to be real happy that we own finite resources. I think it bodes very well for UFD, right? The crypto that we're all involved in, that we have established over 4 months as a crypto that's going to be here, that's here to stay. So it'll be super interesting. And then this just blows us away. What about the Russians? Remember when the Ukrainian conflict started and Joe Biden said, I'm going to turn the ruble into rubble? Well, just to put icing on the cake with everything that's going on, we get this headline yesterday from the Telegraph. The Russian ruble is now being crowned as the world's best performing currency as the dollar declines. The currency is buoyed by a record high interest rate of 21% as Moscow battles inflation. Now, I found something, very interesting about this. This reminded me of what we did in the United States back in the 80s. Guys, back in the 1980s, we had interest rates as high as 15-20%. As Paul Volcker, who was the Federal Reserve, he was the Jerome Powell of the day, was battling the big inflation problem that we had during the 70s. Because back then, the United States did not have, did I share the right screen? I believe I did. Yes. Did not have the massive debt that we have now. Okay. We were able to raise rates to that level, control inflation, and that ushered in a 45-year period of unbelievable economic growth. Is that what the Russians are doing now, right? They've raised their interest rate to 21%. Here's a real simple explanation for you as to why we can't do this. And Susie told me I need to use a different color. So let me see here. There we go. Wonder if black works. Let's try black. All right. Yeah, here we go. Wait a minute. Let's try this again. Sorry, guys. Let's try black again. All right. Here we are. There's our U.S. national debt. This is why the United States, we are really in a bad situation. If we raised interest rates to 20%, okay, do you realize what would happen to this number? down here, which is the interest, the annual interest that you and me as American citizens, those of you who live in America, are paying, right? It would probably go up to like 6 or 7 trillion per year. The government only brings in 5 trillion per year. Okay. We would be spending more on interest alone than anything than what the government brings in. We've already got a deficit right now of 2 trillion. I mean, it really truly is a scary situation. We'll see how it all works out. Enough doom and gloom. What do you guys say we do the duster of the day? And we're going to do it a little different today. Today we have a special duster of the day. Chronic Cruz, okay? He's a part-time Deegan content creator, okay, and a member, of course, of many communities, including UFD. Our friend Crypto Art recommended him. He said, I'm truly grateful for this vibrant, make sure I've got that up. Yes, I do, for this vibrant community where diverse voices come together to share ideas, support one another, and inspire growth. Your passion and kindness make this space a welcoming haven, fostering connections that uplift us all. Thank you for making it so special, Ron and Susie. You lit the fire, and we all keep it lit. Truly grateful. Well, my friend, we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who day in and day out, including right now as we're together here in Duster Club. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Where's my list? That's why I'm forgetting here. Horns up, Dusters. Let's all raise our horns and salute Chronic Cruz. He is our duster of the day. And I apologize. I lost my daily list that I need to say to you guys. Hold on a second here. We're descending into mayhem. All right. Horns up. And congratulations to Chronic. Here it is. I found it. And good attracts good. You know, there's certain things we want to talk about every day. Horns up, Dusters. Let's all salute Chronic Cruz as the duster of the day. Here is his X profile. What you need to do is go out there. He's got 3,000 followers. Let's see. Well, 2,994. Let's see if we can get him over 3,000 today. But he's a critical member of our community. Okay. There's some of the NFTs he's reposting. I like this one he reposted from Duster01, looking for a centralized exchange to buy beans. Those are all the places we can buy beans, up to and including Kraken, right? Our tier 1 exchange listing. He reposted this one from Life, right? Life puts out some incredible art. Check that out, huh? So, guys, look, we are nothing without our relationships. We are nothing without our community. And, you know, that's why it's so important, right? It is critically important that we come together on a regular basis. Chronic Cruz, you're a big part of the community, right? All of you out there watching right now, you're a big part of the community. Let's keep this going. But today we're going to salute Chronic Cruz with the golden horn. Let's all help install the golden horn on our friend Chronic Cruz. Now, if you have somebody who you want to have as Duster of the Day, please send a DM to Upstairs Susie. She's my beautiful assistant who helps organize the Duster of the Day. And we'd love to have you. You can even nominate yourself. Let's all say hi to Upstairs Susie. I just turned her on. Hey, Susie, I'm sorry. Did I just turn you on?
I'm here, over.
Okay. Thank you, over. I requested that if someone would like to be Duster of the Day or would like to nominate someone as Duster of the Day, that I would like them to send you a DM. Is that okay, over?
Of course, over. Please do that, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing some more DMs with nominations. Over.
Well, I sure am glad I turned her on again today. All right, everybody, give Susie a high five, right? She loves you. That's Upstairs Susie. Go follow her on Twitter, too. She has the secret mission. I was eavesdropping on a conversation she was having with one of her friends where she was saying that secretly she wants to get more Twitter followers than I have. Well, hey, you know, go for it, Upstairs Susie. I'm up for the competition. All right, guys. Gold and crypto in my opinion, gold and Bitcoin in particular, we hear that, right? That Bitcoin is digital gold are in the same category. I believe that as this next 3 to 4 to 5 years plays out, that it's going to prove to be a very lucrative period for crypto. It'll be led by Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin now controls like 66% of the crypto market. So we'll be keeping a close eye, but gold will lead the way. Okay. Crypto and Bitcoin, I believe, will follow. Now, let's go take a look at some crazy data. You know, gold is at all-time highs, but look at this tweet that came out yesterday from Anthony Pompliano. Anthony Pompliano. He says gold, I didn't realize this, is outperforming stocks over the last 20 years. Has got to be one of the biggest surprises in finance. And then look at our friend DJ Litmus down there, huh? Can't go wrong with precious metals. Can't go wrong with the best meme coin, UFD. All right. I don't know if DJ Litmus is having a dance party tonight. If he is, I'll be sure to reply to repost it. This post got 731,000 views. Okay, guys, here's the deal. Gold and crypto are the same thing. They're alternative assets. Gold is at all-time highs. Why do people like gold? Think about it. Because it's decentralized. It's DeFi. It's the original version of DeFi, right? Nobody's in charge of it. Nobody's in charge of Bitcoin. Guess what? Nobody's in charge of UFD. Nobody controls it. I don't control it. I'm not the controller, right? I created it, but it's completely out of my hands. It's on the blockchain. Nobody controls crypto. Nobody controls gold. That's why they're so much in common. That's why they are the enemy of the fiat money system. Okay? Fiat, they don't like gold and silver. They don't like crypto. Okay? Because crypto is the decentralized way to store value, just like gold and silver have been for thousands and thousands of years. All right. And what gets very interesting as we look at this movement towards decentralized finance overall, we get this news. This is crazy. In gold is beating the S&P 500 for 20 years. Why haven't we heard of that? Let's get back to that quick. Then we'll get to this, right? Why aren't we hearing that? Why isn't that front page news? Why isn't it being talked about on CNBC, right? Because they don't want people to know. They really don't want people to know the reality of what is happening here as that debt problem, that debt spiral that I showed you earlier is coming into fruition. They want all the sheeple, right, to just keep storing their money in fiat because that's their system and they can inflate the value away, all that good stuff. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, but Bitcoin fixes that. UFD fixes that. Gold fixes that. And silver fixes that. And let's just see how pronounced what is going on, how extreme this has actually become. Okay. After a surge to record highs, gold overtakes the Magnificent Seven as the most crowded trade on Wall Street. Gold is doing better, right, than the Magnificent Seven. I highlighted this one paragraph for you. According to Bank of America fund manager survey published this week, nearly half of the fund managers, 50%, see long gold, that means, or bets that gold prices will rise, as the most crowded trade in the market right now. This marks the first time in 2 years that fund managers did not see the Magnificent Seven as Wall Street's most crowded trade. And just to review the Magnificent Seven, gold prices have surged almost 30% year to date, while the Mag 7 tech stocks, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Facebook, Tesla, and NVIDIA are down considerably. That's the world that we're living in. How does that feed back into crypto? How does that feed back into UFD? It absolutely does. The world is realizing, right, that real assets, finite assets, right, non-manipulatable or less manipulatable assets are where they want to store their value, right? When you look at UFD, how decentralized we are, the whole world, we always talk about people in Africa have the same access to unicorn fart dust that we have. And that's a good thing because a lot of those people don't have access to bank accounts. A lot of those people don't have access to be able to get into a stock or a stock market. It's very interesting how the world is changing right now. I think we're on the cusp of a situation very similar to when the printing press was invented, when the internet first came around, when YouTube allowed people to communicate via video for the first time, right? These massive barriers, right? Technology is breaking them down and democratizing everything, decentralizing everything. We are really living in an incredible period of time. Probably we don't realize it, right? Usually people don't realize it until they look back. Do you realize it? I realize it, right? The first thing that happened was the fact that I can sit here in my basement and communicate with you all over the world. Hundreds of people right now, right, that are all joined together. Thousands will watch this later in the day. It is a crazy, crazy time, a great time to be alive. And with decentralized finance, right, gold and silver have been doing it for thousands of years, and now crypto is doing it. It's an even more exciting time to be alive. Hey, speaking of which, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor MoonPay, right? Speaking of giving people access to decentralized finance, MoonPay, right, is the number one on-ramp, right, for people who want to convert fiat into crypto. Millions and millions of customers available in 180 countries. They're totally integrated, right, into the Solana ecosystem, into all the crypto ecosystems, and a top-notch company. Look, I had not heard of MoonPay 6 months ago, but when I started Unicorn Fart Dust, they were a critical part of my story. MoonPay was my first experience in crypto, right? And I learned about the company and I felt comfortable with the company. And as I went through my initial transactions, everything went perfectly smoothly. So it's a big honor for me to be able to have MoonPay, right, enabling us to get together here in the basement. Because they're a natural, organic part of my story. And the same thing with Ledger, right? The leader in hardware wallet technology. Who else could we ask for? Everybody knows Ledger, right? Allows you to safely store your crypto, the keys to your crypto, off the internet, right? They've sold millions and millions of their Ledger devices, right? I have a Ledger Flex. I absolutely love it. I love the Ledger Live app, okay? It's just like a seamless, beautiful experience. And they're helping people all over the world, right? Not make the same mistake that I made, right? The mistake that I made, I didn't think about security until after I went through a terrible hacking event, right? They're helping more and more people every day do the right thing, which is to think about security right now, securing your crypto. And of course, our friends, can you see it right there? DirtyMan SAFE, right? Look, I know crypto people. I know gold and silver people. I know all of you very well. I know you like to hide things, right? Maybe you have a safe in your house. Maybe you have a safety deposit box, whatever the case may be. But it's always good to diversify where you secure your valuables. And DirtyMan SAFE is an excellent product that allows you to secure things in the ground. Go check them out, dirtymansafe.com. Here, I'll show you quickly. Because I really love this thing. This is the actual safe, okay? It comes with a sleeve that you bury in the ground. Again, check it out at their website. Don't forget Ron10, and you get a discount. But you store whatever you like inside this capsule, And I'm telling you, there's a unicorn in that capsule. This thing is robust, okay? And you dig a hole, there's a sleeve, this goes down in, and then the cap sits on top, and you're like a pirate. You've got, buried treasure right there in your very own backyard or wherever you decide to bury it. Just don't.
Hey, Ron, don't they also make dirty girl safe? Over.
Yes, hold on, Susie. Yes, Susie, they do. They make the dirty girl and they make the dirty old man. Those are different sizes. That one, actually the one I just showed you was the dirty girl. It's the smaller. And then there's the dirty man, which is the standard. And then the dirty old man, which is this like really big one. So they have different sizes. The thing that got me kind of reignited, pardon the pun, and it's a bad pun because there was a tragedy what happened, but with DirtyMan SAFE was when I read about that during the Los Angeles fires, people lost millions and millions of dollars in crypto, in Bitcoin, because the fires were so intense that people that had their seed phrases stored on paper, well, they were gone, obviously. But even people that had them in what they thought were fireproof safes, a lot of those were gone. And even people that had their engraved on those metal plates, that a lot of those became rendered unreadable. So, and I thought, wow, if those people had a DirtyMan SAFE where it was buried 1.5 feet or 2 feet in the ground, they would have been fine, right? Because that thing protects against floods, it protects against fire and everything else. All right, I digress. Let's talk about gold a little bit more. This is interesting. Recent data out of China. China is becoming the world powerhouse economy. There are 1.4 billion people in China. There's also 1.4 billion people in India, right? On a side note, I've encouraged everyone in India to buy one US.
Reached 100 viewers on YouTube. If you want to ring a gong or a bell, maybe.
Oh.
Just say, go in. Over.
Okay. Thank you, Susie. Over. I think we gave her too much coffee this morning or something. I will do that in 1 second. We're going to ring the gong because we got 100 people joining us now on YouTube. Okay, this is interesting out of China. All right, back up. India. We'll focus on India. If everybody in India bought one UFD bean, there'd be a beanopoly. It'd be done. So eventually we're going to get our videos translated into Hindi, and I cannot wait, right, to get more and more Indian people into UFD. But China, gold. Remember, gold is the canary in the coal mine for crypto, right? The Shanghai Futures Exchange saw trading volumes of gold hit the highest level in a year last week. Okay. The buying frenzy in China has seen prices move to a premium, right, over the West of $20 per ounce. Okay. And inflows to onshore ETFs driven by retail investors have set new records week after week. So there is a unbelievable gold frenzy going on in China right now. They can't buy crypto, right? It's illegal, last I'd heard, in China. They're buying gold. The world is just moving into this decentralized finance environment and doing it at a pace like we have really, really never seen before. I'm going to ring the gong for everybody. Everyone loves when I ring the golden gong. Listen to it resonate. And this is for all you, for everybody, including the people on YouTube, right? Please subscribe. The people on X, thank you. Okay, enough of that. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the basement. I appreciate you. Appreciate everything that everyone in the UFD community, the precious metals community, is doing, right? It's a big deal, right? This is not possible without you joining. You are important, right? You're good. Be good to yourself. Remember that. It's okay. I'll give you a little preach. Start with yourself. Be as good to yourself as you can. A little self-acceptance, a little self-love. excuse me, that'll give you the ability to go out there and be nice to other people, right? And that's what UFD's been about from day one. Good attracts good. And you guys are doing so many good things. I mean, like, we are being watched. Oh, I had this conversation last night. Was talking to one of our key community members, right? Very smart guy. And we were talking about, like, everybody's watching us. I know Sarah put out a post last night. I think I reposted it, right? Like, she's like, everybody I talk to has good things to say about UFD, right? Everybody is watching us, guys. And we are proving during what has really been, right, a crypto and meme coin Armageddon, let's call it what it is, that we are here to stay, right? That we aren't going anywhere. And we are, like, building and building and building and building and building and building a massive, solid foundation from which potentially, right? Look, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any financial decisions, but what I believe could be a very bright future. All right, guys, have a great day. Okay. It's a holiday for some people. I hope you have a great day. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for being here. All right. Thanks.